What's up guys, Dice here, and today we're going to be talking about another character in my Umamusume spin-off series. This time it's Ribot's Verset. The real Ribot's Verset was born in 1975 out of Ribot's Holiday and Verset, making him and Verset's dancer half-siblings, IRL. Aside from his excellent racing career, Ribot's Verset's also considered one of the best sires in PR and produced a very long list of winners. On a side note, he also had a full sibling named Verset Holiday, which means that yes, Ribot does have an older sister. She won't be showing up in this short manga series, but I have no idea where else am I gonna mention this, and I totally didn't forget about this detail until I wrote the script for this video, which is why it doesn't show up at all in her character profile. Nope, that's not the reason. One major detail that stood out to me was during his 3-year-old season, he won against another horse from his generation, Brigido, during the third leg of the Puerto Rican Triple Crown. According to some Facebook posts, there were tons of articles made about Brigido winning the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown and pretty much just taking for granted that he would be the next Triple Crown winner. I couldn't find reports on how exactly did people react to Ribot's Verset winning instead. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even find footage of this race itself, as Joe Bruno, the guy that covers PR horse racing for a living and uploads tons of footage onto his YouTube channel, believes it himself to be lost media. Personally, I can't imagine people were all too happy to see Brigido lose in the end, and it's with this idea in mind that I set out to write Ribot's scenario with this question: what would happen if Rice Shower chose to remain a heel? Now, there's a few reasons I went with this. For starters, I'm writing Umádromo with the intention of it being this unofficial spin-off to the main Umamusume series. Just like how many spin-offs of classic long-running franchises often do their own take on stories from their respective mainline entry, quote-unquote, I was also motivated to try my hand at Rice Shower's scenario from both the game's second chapter and the second anime season. However, in order to not reheat Rice's nachos too blatantly, I wanted to take a different direction to this story, which brings me to my next reason. Rather than try to challenge other people's perceptions of her being a heel, she was taught her whole life that it's more important to focus on one's own duties and endure all hardships this would bring her. Now, obviously, this is a far from ideal way of life to say the least, but I think that's what makes this a great storyline for Ribot. Someone who conformed to both the standards and expectations of the Versets, as well as her role as a heel of racing. This is reflected in her signature race horse design. I remember asking Juan, make it look almost like the villain or rival in a tokusatsu series with just the right amount of edge. The real Ribot's jockey silks were yellow with some black at one point, so I decided that the color scheme for her armor would be mostly black with some yellow or gold to both help make her stand out from Dancer's color scheme and to better fit with the whole Toku rival slash villain vibe. On her helmet, you can see a white streak, referencing the white mark or star on the real Ribot's forehead. While it is unusual for the white markings on a horse to only be referenced in an Uma's G1 outfit, it's not entirely unprecedented. For example, the real Daiwa Scarlet has a white blaze going down her face, which is subtly referenced in Uma Scarlet's G1 outfit. Now, for her ear accessory, I settled on a yellow ear cover with the silhouette of a black sword pointing downwards. This would be a reference to the Sword of Damocles, which, I'll admit, is something very unusual to reference in the world of Umamusume, but I have my reasons for that too. The first one is that Ribot is also another way to say tyrant, which is what the original Greek anecdote was referring to. And secondly, it's the different ways you can read this story and how it connects to our own Ribot here. You could read it as how, despite her being a successful trainee and being part of this important family, she can never truly enjoy her success due to how she's treated by her classmates and fans of Brigido. Or how, even if her life might on the surface seem almost too perfect to her classmates, that they shouldn't be too quick to judge, as she's going through plenty of struggles on her own right. To change topics a bit, now, what would Brigido and Ribot's relationship be in all this? And to keep things short, it's an almost hesitant friendship where Ribot's not sure at first if Brigido's genuine in her desire to get closer to her. After all, Ribot saw firsthand how Brigido cried when she lost her shot at the Triple Crown, but ultimately Brigido would be someone that wants Ribot to know that she didn't take the loss too personally and really admires Ribot. And now I'll admit, I am definitely getting ahead of myself. This short manga series is about Jet, and even if I do end up making the fan game or visual novel, Jet would be first in line in writing out her full career mode or story. But Ribot is such a fascinating character to me that I would love to write out her story in the future. It also helps that I really fell in love with the design Juan cooked up for her, which motivates me even more to want to fully flesh out her hypothetical career mode. But that's a job for the future. Anyway, if you want to see more of these videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.